Good evening, people. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, live stream, RJH. Wednesday, 25th of August, 2021. So welcome to the live stream. How are we all doing? Yeah, live stream, Wednesday, 25th of August, 2021. Right, let's just make a checklist. First of all, I've got a glass of water. It's going to be a good one tonight, ladies and gents. Got me water. Backup of water. Got my phone. Got my windows open. Got the light on. Screen one, I've got my subscriber count. I'd like to get 8 subscribers on the back of tonight. Take me up to 8,300. So that screen's on. I've got my relaxed music on in the background. Samurai music. Nice. And material I've got tonight is the DL25 riding test report. So checklist complete. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live stream, RJH, Wednesday, 25th of August, 2021. And tonight is going to be a good one. Tonight is all about the Module 2 riding test report. We'll go through start to finish and talk about the most popular riding faults. So anybody that's on the process of going up to get the full license, whether you're booked in for October, it's coming up, or whether you've started, you've done your CBT, whatever stage you're at, this video is for you. It's going to be a good one. All I ask in return, as always, is like the channel, like this live stream, comment on this live stream. It really, really does help more people get involved. And, you know, it's what motivates me, okay? It motivates me to get on this live stream. So that's all about tonight. It's important that we congratulate once again all of RJH team working still very, very hard. Been working pretty solid since March the 29th, post lockdown 3. So congratulations to all of the RJH team. Congratulations to all those that are starting their journeys, whether that be tasters, CBTs, module 1s, module 2s. There are many, many, many of you across our 3 sites. And also a thank you to everybody that's been messaging me from up and down the country that have been successful or not successful, as the case may be. But it is good of you to comment and let us know that you're enjoying the videos and the live streams, and that you're achieving the goals that you've set yourself out for. Okay, so well done and keep it all up. So how is it looking? I've changed the camera location, and I've changed the distance of the backdrop. So whether you can notice any different, it looks pretty much the same to me. Everybody's still okay with this backdrop? If everybody's getting fed up with it, I can always change it slightly. I've got a few different options. Oh yeah, one other thing before we get set into it. What I have done is started to schedule a few more live streams you might see in the playlist. So set your reminders on. The next live stream is from, well, it's going to be on, I've scheduled it for the 5th of the 9th. And that's the next live stream that I've scheduled. I might have another one in between, but that is from Spain. So I've scheduled the 5th and the 12th, and there will be the 19th, and there'll be the 26th. There'll be a few more, but all of those are going to be from Spain, because I am spending the month of September in Spain. But I'm not forgetting all of you lovely people that are following us and using the channel to help you get through your journeys. I'm not forgetting you. I'm taking the computers over, and we're going to be trying the live streams from Spain. And I do promise that I won't tease you all and do the live stream from the poolside. Okay, I won't do it from the poolside, so I won't tease you too much. But yeah, so do set those reminders on. And also, I suppose, apologies for last week, because we had a bit of a technical, sort of getting a bit of momentum on the live stream on Sunday, and then we had a technical glitch, which means I was logged out. I couldn't then get back into the live stream. I had to then reset another live stream. So it looked like there were two running at the same time, but they weren't. The one, although it had said it was still live, had actually stopped. So let's have a look and see who we have in the chat room tonight. And we have first in then Mr. Dave Smith. Good evening, Dave. And Lisa. Good evening, Lisa. Harry, good evening. And no, Daisy is not with me tonight, but we could have a revisit at some time if you feel that that is of benefit to anybody. She is a star in the making. I keep trying to encourage Daisy to develop her own YouTube channel, because she could do very, very well. When you see some of these young girls just randomly, they YouTube at what makeup they're putting on that day or what clothes they're wearing, and just these little videos. I mean, they have millions of subscribers, and so Daisy has that personality. So I'm trying to encourage her to be filming random stuff about Daisy's life. Good evening, Andy. Kettle on, mini rolls at the ready. Good man. And good evening, Hader. Nice of you to join us. Paul and Frank from Letchworth. Fantastic. Nice of you to join us. But I am committing to be taking some Spanish lessons. That's what I want to do. So my brain don't sort of work. I couldn't come out with stuff now, but if I switched off from the live stream, got me head clear of the bike and I went and sat down for 5 minutes, I could then probably come out with a little bit of Spanish. But my brain doesn't seem to work that quick. But so there we are. Okay, so tonight, module 2. So anybody, doesn't look like we've got any new viewers on at the moment, but you keep liking and you keep sharing and you keep commenting, and they will no doubt come along in a bit. And also, I suppose, mustn't forget that this live stream, whilst it's live stream, it can actually be played back time and time again. That's the beauty of it. It can be played back time and time again. So has everybody had a good week then? Wednesday, yeah, it's looking good. So the good news is I've had a couple of meetings also on a couple of meetings on a new potential site. So I've had 2 meetings, looks promising. That is South Manchester, and it could be very, very special. It's on the South Manchester corridor, and it's looking promising. So I will have more to report soon. I think if we do get the green light from all parties, probably looking at November. Okay, so probably looking at RJH number 4 in November if we get the green lights from all parties concerned. But that's all I am going to say at the moment, because if I told you, I'd have to kill you. It's top secret. Right, let's get to it then. If you've joined us, there's 15 people on watching, according to me. There's not 15 people that commented. So anybody there watching in the background, do comment away, ask questions. A lot of experience can help you along. But I want to talk about this baby tonight, which is it's in black and white. I printed off in black and white, but it does actually get printed. It's in green. It's the traditional riding test report. It's a DL25. And I mean, DVSA don't use this now. They record everything on the iPads, and then you get your emails. But this was the old iPad where you get it filled in. And the good thing about the riding test report, you get all these headings. And the good thing is that at the back you get each heading, and there's a description, a riding test report explained. So and that's what I'm going to go through tonight with you, ladies and gents. We'll pick out all the headings, and then we'll give you a description, and we'll talk about the most common faults that we sort of find that people are picking up, what they can get away with on their test. Just to remind everybody, this is my view. So tonight I will be giving you my take. I don't want to get into any arguments, and I will not get into any arguments with anybody that tries to challenge what I'm saying. And I am not a DVSA examiner. I am a bike instructor with 20 years experience. So it's my experience which I'm giving you guys, you ladies and gents. Okay, so if anybody wants to get in touch with me and they're the keyboard warriors, then I'm not interested. Okay, I'm not interested. I'm at a stage in my life now where, you know, if you want to tell me 1 + 1 is 5, then I'm happy with that. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Dave Thomas. Sorry to hear that, Dave. Dave comes over to Manchester from Blackpool, and pulling out behind a parked car after checking all blind spots. A lady coming from the opposite direction did not have the right of way. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. So I'm suspecting that person had to slow down, and that's where you possibly got your serious fault. It's very important, right away or not. It's very important that you don't interfere with people on your test. And if you need to get more view, peep and creep as we call it. But yeah, sorry to hear that, Dave. But get it next time, mate. So let's think then. We'll get back to the basic on the Module 2. So when you're going for your Module 2 assessment, let's call it an assessment. Let's not call it a test. Because as we all know, the word test sort of gives you doesn't it? Makes you sort of think a little bit differently. Think of it as an assessment. So think of it as an assessment of your riding ability, and that's how you want to think. But when you go along for your Module 2 test, it's very important that you're prepared. So prepare yourself in getting all of your documents and things ready, all the things that you're going to be wearing. Get it all ready the night before. So get it all ready the night before, and then the next day you're not panicking, are you? You're not panicking. Now, as I go through the riding test report, what I will also highlight is that in the descriptions below, I've also got the links of different videos that we've recorded and filmed, which will sort of link in with this as well. So, and I'll try and do it in a sort of a logical order for you, as with regards to the ride and test report. So make sure that you arrive to your test centre, the school that you're doing your training at, early. Try not to arrive late, because you do put pressure then on your instructor. And if there's another trainee going on test as well, it could affect them. So, you know, the poor preparation from one person who will arrive late, oh, sorry, I'm late, there was traffic, doesn't understand the knock-on effect that has on another trainee that's with them or the instructor. It puts a lot of unnecessary pressure. So preparation, that's what we ask all of our trainees. Get yourself prepared, get yourself to the centre nice and early. And that's one of the biggest pieces of advice I'd give, because then you're going to be a lot more relaxed. So the documents that you need to take are everything that you took to your Module 1, including your Module 1 certificate, because you can't do your Module 2 without passing your Module 1. You need to pass your Module 2 test before your theory test expires. Otherwise, you're going to start the process again. So you've got 2 years from the date of your theory test to pass your Module 1 and your Module 2. So very important. So you're going to be presenting on your Module 2 test, unless it's progressive access, but you're going to be producing on your Module 2 test your driving license, your CBT certificate, and your Module 1 certificate, and your theory test certificate. So very, very important that you have all of those documents. RJH, as a school, will take those documents off you. They will check that everything's in order, put it in a folder, and put it in, the instructor will take it for you. We also ensure that you've got a face mask at the moment because of COVID, and we've got a pen for you. And we will provide the earpiece as well for the examiner, because you have to use our earpieces. Now, again, because of COVID. Also, your instructor at the centre, we would always check you've got everything that you're wearing. Now, when you went for your Module 1 test, you would have wore ankle protection, a jacket, high-vis, gloves, and so forth, helmet. So we will ensure that you've got all the correct gear on again. There's nothing worse than getting to the test and then being turned away because you got the wrong gear. Okay. So very, very important, that preparation before the test. Okay, so arrive on time, arrive with all the right documents, arrive with everything that you're wearing. Make sure it is all there. Okay, and then you can have a ride to the test centre. So we use 8 different test centres. So the 3 schools that we've got, we use 8 different test centres, depending which test centre you're going to be going to. It could be an hour and a quarter, it could be an hour and a half. I think the closest one is about 45 minutes. So anything from 45 minutes to an hour and a half journey to the test centre. So you can get really nice and relaxed en route. So that's quite a bit there to take on board before we've even got going, isn't it? Yeah, so unfortunate, Dave, but we'll go through in a minute all of it, and you can contribute on that as well. Duncan, good evening, and AW, good evening. AW8, Figol, good evening. You're resetting your test tomorrow. Mod 2 test, is that, Figol? Hader, your signal's really poor, so cannot view this properly yet. Oh dear. Well, you can always play it back tomorrow or when you get a better signal. Dave is on a day off tomorrow. Blimey, look at you making sausage rolls, eh? Good stuff. Yeah, good. Mod 2 tomorrow. Figgle got his Mod 2 tomorrow. So the ride and test report is numbered 1 through to what we got up to about 26. And I'd say the first 9, well, 1A and 1B are safety questions. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are really all relating to module 1. However, it's worth mentioning that the standard that you passed your module 1 on, so you would have been at a very good standard to pass your module 1, you need to maintain that. So when you go for your module 2, you need to maintain that standard. Don't drop that standard, maintain it. So maintain your module 1 standard when you go for your module 2. And what I mean by that is when you're moving away from a standstill, you were probably moving off in the control position. You would have taken effective rear observations before moving off. So you will need to do that on your module 2. The control that you would have had for your slow speed, how you would have braked in a straight line, ABC, front brake, back brake, all of the standards on that, carry it on to your module 2. Okay, carry it on to your module 2. And that's what we will be looking at. So module 2, number 1A on your, well, let's talk first of all then about getting to the test centre. So we, as I said, have 8 different test centres. Could be 45 minutes, could be an hour and a half journey getting there. So we can get you nice and relaxed. We tend not to bombard you with stuff because we don't want you to overthink things. So we'll have a nice relaxed journey, nice safe journey to the test centre. Depending which test centre you go to and up and down the country, and we in Manchester, as an example, we cannot enter a test centre before 10 minutes of the test. So if we get to the test centre 15 minutes before the test, we can't go in. It's got to be 10 minutes. And we can only take the trainee in. We can't take the instructor in, can't take his bike in or anything. You have to park up outside and all this stuff, which is a pain in the backside. 30 minutes down the road, you can go in half an hour before your test. It's not a problem. So depending where you are, will determine the sort of etiquette of getting into that test centre. But your instructor will know that. So ultimately then you're going to be getting to the test centre. You're going to be parked at the test centre in the motorcycle parking bay, and you're going to be ready for your examiner, 5 minutes before your test. We do that, and then if you need to use the toilets, the cloakrooms, that last little nervous wee sort of thing, you need to get yourself comfy, then that's the time to do it. Then we get your documents out ready and so forth, and the examiner at some point, pretty much, again, we've got one test centre that'll come out 5 or 10 minutes early, and if you're happy to go, if they're running ahead of schedule, you're happy to go. So there's one test centre 10 minutes before. Yeah, you're happy to go, Bob? Yeah, come on then. And 10 minutes, great, happy days. Other test centres will leave it to the specific time and then call you in at a specific time. At the moment, test centres, waiting rooms, some you can use, some you can't, again, so check with your instructor. But generally speaking, most examiners will call you into the garage, we call it, into the garage where they store all their bike gear. Sometimes they store the bikes in there, stuff like that. So it's into a little garage. You've got a little table and stuff like that. It's fairly informal. Check all your documents that you've got. So don't forget what documents you need to take. And they then check your face. So drop your face mask, because at the moment when you meet the examiners, you need to have a face mask on and drop it. Yeah, still generally that's what's happening. And then you can take it off when you're riding, not a problem, and just sign the declaration, and then just have a little chat with you, explain what they want you to do, which is, and they'll kick you out with their radio. Your earpiece is you've got from your instructors, 3.5mm jack earpiece. Kick you out with their radio, and they make sure that you know what's going to be happening, which is going to go for a ride, and they'll tell you pretty much to ride for yourself, follow the road straight on unless traffic signs tell you otherwise. And they'll say, just do what you do when you're out with your instructors. Yeah, don't do anything different. So they don't want you to do anything different to what you've been doing. They'll explain that they might want you to pull over from time to time, so find somewhere safe to do so. They'll explain that there's going to be a bit of independent riding. So, they'll explain, pull you over, explain they want you to follow the roads for wherever it is. And they'll tell you it'll last, 35, 40 minutes, that sort of thing. That's the sort of chit chat that they have with you. They might say, oh, yeah, nice day. Or it might say, oh, so you brought the weather with you, or whatever. They might say, whatever. They might think, oh, what do you do for a living? They might think, oh, they look at your license, and they might say, oh, you're from Holland. Yeah, oh, yeah, whatever. Oh, yeah, I've been there. They're pretty human. They are pretty human. So, get a bit of a chit chat, get going with them, have a bit of a banter with them. And first thing then is out into the car park somewhere, and they will get you to read a number plate. So they will get you to read a number plate from 20.5 meters. So if you need glasses for driving, if you need them, don't forget your glasses, because if you cannot read a number plate, then they will not take you on their test. It's as simple as that. So if you're in any doubt about being able to read a number plate, then check with your instructor. Okay, it is really important. And I'd like to say that it never happens. It's never happened to me. It's never happened to one of my trainees, but I have seen it happen, and I have seen people not go for their test because they cannot read a number plate. So don't be one of them. And that's number 1A. So that's very, very important. Worth mentioning here then is that if you couldn't read a number plate, then you would get a serious fault. Okay, it's a serious fault. And if you get any one serious fault, because each of these headings, you can accumulate faults. Now the faults, the description is explanatory markings. You can get a fault, which we call a minor fault. And what I would say about a minor fault is that you can get 10 of them. And if you get 10 minor faults, and you can pass. If you get 11 minor faults, then you will fail, because the limit is 10. Now, if you get 10 minor faults and pass, yes, well done, you have passed, but nothing to be proud of, is it? Yeah. And in our schools, we have a little naughty corner. So anybody that comes back with a pass, with 10 faults, we have a naughty corner, because there's nothing to be proud of. But yeah, it's a pass. 11 is a fail. So a minor fault is a riding fault. It's headed there, a less serious fault, but an accumulation of these could also could or may result in a failure. So if you get accumulation, if you get 3, it may go up into a serious fault. It's not necessary. It's up to your examiner. Your examiners, yeah, they're the boss. A dangerous or a serious, so a dangerous fault, committing one of those will result in a failure. A serious fault, committing one of these will result in a failure. So serious or dangerous, you don't want any. Minor, yeah, get a few of them, not a problem, but 10 is your limit. Okay, so going back to the eyesight check, then if you can't read a number plate from 20.5 meters, you will get a serious fault and your test will not go ahead. Okay, and that's number 1A. So that's also a little bit of a description about the faults. So let's come back into the chat for 1 minute. Dave, yeah, workaholic, as you know yourself, Dave, when you work for yourself, when you run your own business, you never really do switch off. But the benefit of that running your own business, the benefit of that being your own boss, the benefit of that workaholic means that, yeah, if I want a month off, then I will have a month off. And I don't have to report to anybody and get a signed holiday form, which I used to do in my previous life. Can I have 2 weeks holiday? And so, no, you can't. Somebody else is. Those days have gone. AW8, robbery, moving off. Do you allow Alcock default 1, 2, 3 method left wherever moving off left? AW8, stay tuned. We are going to go through all of our headings, and I'm going to then encourage you to look down in the description below, because I have the videos that can, or a lot of videos that can help with that particular exercise. I know on a moving off exercise, I have got some great videos linked below. So what I would say is stay tuned, because it is going to be a good one. Okay, it's going to be a long one, but it is going to be a good one. So yeah, we've got 18, 19 people watching, 13 likes. If you've not liked the live stream, ladies and gents, please do like it. It does help spread whilst we're on a live stream, which encourages more people to come and join in. And I'd encourage anybody that is watching that hasn't commented, introduce yourself. Don't just stay in the background. Come on, join in. There's so much experience in this live chat. It is unreal. So much experience. It is unreal. So you're not even got on the bike and got going yet, but your test has started. As soon as you sign the declaration, as soon as you had a chat with your test has started, first thing then eyesight check. Then he's going to go over to your bike, just itch your back. Then you're going to go over to your bike and you'll take a note of your registration number. You'll have a walk around just to make sure that you've got L plates front and rear. And you just look at the general condition of the bike that is presented for the test. And then he is going to ask you 2 questions, or 3 questions, but 2 questions on the bike, 1 show me and 1 tell me. And he's going to ask you 1 question on carrying a pillion passenger, and can get a minor fault on the questions, okay? Or you can get a fault on the questions, but you could, I suppose, get a serious fault if you know, show me how you check the operation of the front brake and then you were to drop the bike. That wouldn't be very good, would it? So you could potentially get a serious fault even on these. The link below, I have got the top link I've got below is actually this riding test report. So anybody that's going for a module 2, have a look at it, print it off. The link is in the description below. Print it off, because also it has got that description. So each of the headings has got the description. So the description for the eyesight test is at the start of the test, the examiner asks you to read a vehicle registration number. If you require glasses or contact lenses to enable you to read the number plate, you must wear them when you're riding. If you do not meet the eyesight standard, the test will not go ahead. So that's in the description. Eyesight. 1B, safety questions. You are asked a number of questions relating to the safety checks you should make on your machine before you ride. For example, fluid levels, light and tires. And the examiner will also ask you 1 question on carrying a pillion passenger. So you get 2 questions on the bike, 1 show me, 1 tell me, and you will get a question on carrying a pillion passenger. Now, the link below in the description, have a look at it. We've got the riding test report. So we've got this, really valuable if you're going for a mod 2. Most schools that I know of don't use these. We've got a load of these, but you can print them off the internet anyway and have a look at them. Below that, you have got the show me, tell me questions. We've done videos of show me, tell me questions. And you've got a video on the pillion passenger questions. So great to watch those videos below relating to the test report. And that is number 1A and 1B. So that's even before you've got on the bike, yeah. So probably taking 5 or 10 minutes for all of that. Okay, let's have a look then. We've got to Weeman 2021. Thank you for your vids. They're very helpful for my CBT. Good man. Well done. Thanks for letting us know, Weeman. Yeah, comment on the videos. Great. Like this live stream, please. And if you're not subscribed, please do so. It does make a big difference. Tom Middleton, just want to say I passed my mod 2 back in June. While I didn't learn directly with RJH, I did watch all the videos. They were such a huge help. Thank you very much for letting us know, Tom. And it is always good to know that we help people from up and down the country. So let us know where you're from, mate. Great of you to comment. Please like the video. And if you're not subscribed, do subscribe and stay subscribed. It really does help. Dave, just letting people know, pillion passenger question. You didn't get a pillion passenger question. Crikey. That's unusual. Yeah, so normally it is 2, 1 show me, 1 tell me, 1 carrying a pillion passenger. Based in Bedfordshire, test was in Cambridge. Fantastic. So right down south. Good to know that the videos contributed, helped you. There's a lot of information on the channel, a lot of content on the channel, and yeah, take out of it what helps you. That's what it's there for. The beauty of YouTube. So 1A, 1B, number 2, use the stand. Well, yeah, you need to correctly use your stand when you're getting on and off the bike. So what does it say on the description for stand, use of stand? You're asked to show that you can safely place a machine on off stands, what's mainly full control and balance your machine. 2 stands you could choose. Yeah, so you just need to make sure that you're taking it on and off the stand correctly when you're mounting it. Manual handling, slalom, figure of 8, avoidance, U-turn, slow control, emergency stop, speed requirements are all mod 1, as we know. Number 10, precautions. Number 10, precautions. You should make sure that you have carried out appropriate safety checks before starting the engine. So what would we say for the precautions? So Bournemouth we've got as well. Lovely. I like Bournemouth. Used to go to Bournemouth as a young lad. Yeah, used to go to Bournemouth. Had some nice summers down in Bournemouth. Lovely part of the world. So glad to know that the videos are helping all of you out. Phone just buzzing there. That's all right. So you're now on the bike then. And number 11 is moving away. So on your sheet, the description for number 11, that's a good thing about the DL25 sheet, is the headings have all got descriptions. So number 11, moving away, and this really, I mean, it's not uncommon for you to move away. Well, you could move away a couple of dozen times on a mod 2 test. You know, you're moving away at traffic lights, you're moving away out of the test center, you're moving away at junctions. You know, you're going to be moving away many, many times, but also you will be moving away potentially on a level, on a gradient, or at an angle behind a stationary vehicle. Now, what I have got here is one of the videos below is moving off on your test. There's a video, and I've done a demonstration of moving off. And also the one below there is, can you stop on WL lines moving off? So have a look at those two. Okay, but moving off, you need to be safe, and you need to be not interfering with people. So have a look at those videos. Now, just looking there before we get to that also is, I've got a link about what you need to wear on your motorbike module 2 test. And I've got also another video I'll go on to in a minute, but very important, we had a chat about getting prepared when you arrive at a test center. You know, make sure you're wearing all the right gear, but I've got a video on it there that might help. I might switch that round afterwards and put it right at the top before all the things about what you need to wear. And I've also got there a little video that I did, and that is the first 5 minutes and last 5 minutes of your test. And you know, what we find is most people, this is from my experience, I'm not saying this is a statistic that is available up and down the country. This is from my experience, and what we find is that a lot of our trainees come unstuck in the first 5 minutes when they go on their test, or the last 5 minutes when they go on their test. And the reason is that in the first 5 minutes they're nervous, they're not quite sure, and then, you know, the last 5 minutes they might have got a concentration might have gone, they might get tired and stuff like that. So we always say to everybody when they go into the test is, make sure you've had either a good breakfast or a good lunch if it's an afternoon test or a morning test. Make sure you're well hydrated. You know, get plenty of water, because what we get, a lot of people come up from mod 2 tests, oh, I didn't sleep last night. I I'd only got 2 hours sleep, or couldn't eat any breakfast or anything. So you actually find that they didn't sleep in the night, and they haven't eaten since 4 o'clock the day before. and they've not had anything to drink, well, you're not going to perform. Your body is not going to perform. Your brain is not going to react in the same way if you're starving it of food and starving it of water. So first 5 minutes, last 5 minutes of your test, really, really important. Help yourself out by being well hydrated and not hungry, if that makes sense. That's a really good tip. That really is a good tip. The first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes. So, getting a bit warm in here. I've got the windows open. Ooh-wee. Well, no, you don't want to have a toilet urge on test. I'm sure you can last more than 35 minutes AW8. Hey, I'm sure you can. But make sure, yeah, that you have you're not dehydrated and stuff. So yeah, moving off. And the description is you need to show that you're able to move off smoothly and safely on the level, on a gradient, on an angle. So watch the video. The tips that are in that video are observations. So if you're on the side of the road, you go left to right. And if you're behind a parked car or anything like that, make sure that you can see. You might need to, don't just ride out and around it. Peep and creep, we call it. Go a little bit more forward, go a bit more forward until you get good visibility before you go. But yeah, if you're making vehicles change speed or direction, then it's a tough one, isn't it? Because you're generally going to find that isn't going to go in your favor. So a little bit of planning. Don't rush it. Don't interfere with anybody. Have good observations. Age. It's his age. Yeah, Dave, absolutely spot on. When you're going from one road into a new road, look for new information. You're always looking for information. Now, if there's no information, then it's a continuation. But yeah, you need to be looking for information when you're exiting a road and entering a road. Really, really important. So number 11, moving away, and it's important as well. I mean, I suppose with the indicator, consider indicating. You might need to, you might not need to. Just depends what's around you. Don't indicate if you don't need to. And if you do indicate left because you're pulling in, and then you're pulling away, make sure you cancel that left indicator. Do not move off with your left indicator left on, if that makes sense. So moving off, do you need to indicate? Don't you? Only you know at the time, but do think that, if nobody's going to benefit from it, why indicate? Don't indicate for your examiner. He doesn't want you to indicate for him, by the way. He's just an observer. So how are we all doing? Are we all still following it through? Yeah? Are we all still with it? Moving away, number 11. Let's go to moving number 12 then. Number 12 is control. So yeah, this is, I suppose, again, we touched on it a little bit earlier, but control, number 12 on your report, is throughout the test, you need to show that you can use all your controls smoothly and at the correct time. This will result in less wear and tear on your machine and a safer, smoother ride for any passenger. So that's really important. Control. Let me just do this. somebody again. I'm not being rude, but what I'm doing is, and I'm generally accused of not being able to do this. And what I'm actually doing now is multitasking. And it's something I get accused that I'm not able to do. So I'm now multitasking. Oh, repeating on there. Multitasking. There. Just had a message from somebody in Spain, lives in northern Spain, up in Denia, not far from Denia, and just messaging me, Cameron. So I've just sent him the link, Cameron, over in Spain. Whether he comes on, he might not. But anyway, so yeah, the control, you need to the headings in the control are throttle, clutch, gears, front brake, rear brake, steering, balance, slow control, auxiliary controls. And the description is, throughout the test, you need to show that you can use all these controls smoothly and in the correct time. This results in less wear and tear on the machine, safer, smoother ride. So, you know, if you're riding around in the wrong gear and it's racing away, then that would come under control, wouldn't it? If the engine was labouring and, you know, it was on the verge of stalling, again, that would come under. If you braked late and, you know, a junction or something too harsh, all these on the control. If you rear brake only, control. So control is really, really important. And the examiner can generally will pick up on that by even the sound, so he can hear it, he can see it, he can hear it. So plan your ride, plan your control, and yeah, the more the smoother you are with it, then it's not even going to be mentioned, because you know, if you've got nice control. And there is a little bit at the end as well about eco-safe riding. So as an example for the throttle, you know, if you're riding around, if you're riding a bike like you're a two-stroke, you know, we get some people who are coming doing training and they're with a throttle. That's a two-stroke. And but it's you know, would come under eco as well as your control there. It could come under the eco. So bear all of that in mind. Yeah, that's what mine says as well, Dave, although I'm not married, but Lisa says that. Michaelo, most definitely good of you to join us. Definitely no expert or qualified, but do exactly what you've been taught by your instructor. Relax and you'll pass. Only speaking from recent experience, not long past your mod 2. Yeah, your instructors. Yeah, so combine any of what you want from our videos, the live stream, combine that, but listen to your instructors, talk with your instructors. They know your areas well. They've got the relationship with your test center examiners and so forth. So then, where are we on to next? Number 13 is rear observations. Now, in the description below, I have a link to a video that I did, a demonstration, which is headed rear observations explained and a demonstration. So you can have a look at that. The rear observation in the riding test report headings, number 13, is rear observations signaling, rear observations changing direction, and rear observation changing speed. Number 13 on the description is you should use your mirrors fitted to your machine safely and effectively. Where your mirrors are not sufficient, for example, to cover your blind spots, then you must take rear observation, which is your lifesaver. You should always carry out carefully. You should always check carefully before signalling, before changing direction, and before changing speed. You should have shown that you can use the OSM PSL routine effectively. So let's see who's just paying attention. Who can tell me what OSM PSL stands for? Any takers? Any takers on OSM PSL before we go into having a chat about it? Harry, good man. Spot on, 100%. Good man. Observation, signal, maneuver, position, speed, look. Yeah, Dave, that is a good point as well. Look out for learner drivers. You don't know what they're unpredictable, aren't they? But that's where your experience comes in, your anticipation skills, your experienced road user. That's what where that comes in. So let's talk mirrors then. I suppose first of all, with your mirrors, make sure you got them adjusted. Make sure they're clean. Now, if you've ridden to the test centre, they should be, shouldn't they? So make sure they're not flapping about. If they flap it, get them all sorted before you go for your test. But mirrors nice and regular. We recommend every 8 to 10 seconds. Yeah, but Harry, if you're on a test, you need to anticipate it. Yeah, don't matter whose fault it is, you need to anticipate it, and it's how you deal with it. That's what the examiners are looking for. Okay. Now mirrors, let's look, make sure their mirrors are clean, make sure they're adjusted for you and so forth. Mirrors, you want to be looking in them about every 8 to 10 seconds. We would recommend about every 8 to 10 seconds. We'd also say want to be checking your mirrors before any maneuver. So before whatever you're doing, then you can benefit on what you can see. You don't want to be doing your mirrors whilst you're carrying it out. So mirrors before you signal, mirrors before you use your brakes, mirrors before you change position. So then the benefit of checking your mirrors before is that you can act on what you see. And if you don't, then you can't. So what about the lifesavers then? Chin to shoulders, certainly before moving away from a standstill. And yeah, when the mirrors are not enough. So around parked cars and things, yeah, if your mirrors are not enough, if there's a bit of a wider road, maybe check those blind spots. Overtaking, yeah. Lifesavers, turning right, major road into a minor. So if you're going into a filter lane, maybe a lifesaver to change the lane. Lifesaver before you turn. So lots there. Roundabouts, exiting roundabouts, turning right past 12 o'clock. If you're in the right-hand lane before you exit the roundabout, you'd want the left lifesaver. If you're going straight on at a roundabout in the left lane, you probably favour the right lifesaver. If you're going straight on at a roundabout, in the right lane, you probably favour the left lifesaver. So be flexible, but your lifesaver is always going to be directed into the area that you are going into, or where the danger is likely to come from. So, have a look at my video on rear observations explained and a demonstration. But the benefit of any observation, benefit of the timing before, is that you can act on what you see. So the timing is really important, and also how long it takes you to do it. You don't want to take too long to do an observation because of the distance you're traveling, and you will actually travel 1.5 times your speed in feet per second. So if it takes you 1 second to do a rear observation, that is too long. Split second. Yeah, you do need to anticipate, Harry. That's the key word, anticipate what others are going to do. Dave Smith, my biggest bug is the idiots who won't move over emergency vehicles on lights and sirens. Yeah, yeah, there's plenty of them about, mate. Figol, a bike is not legally required to have mirrors. It's not for an MOT. So if you used a machine on my test without them, how would that work? Just a query. Drive an examiner wouldn't take you, in my experience, I've only ever had one, and the examiner would not take the bike on a test. Yeah, and you can argue, well, it's not the law. You could, but it's not the law that you have to wear all the safety equipment, is it? You don't have to. It's not the law that you have to wear body armor, trousers, and jackets. It's not the law that you have to wear ankle protection. So the law is, if I wanted to ride my bike with a helmet and shorts and t-shirt, I could. But if I go for my test, that is not going to happen. And it's the same with the mirrors. So if you're, an MOT, I believe, don't have to have mirrors, but you present a bike to test without the mirrors, and your test won't go ahead. Simple as that. So don't go to test without mirrors. Or people that won't make space for bikes, particularly when filtering through traffic. Yeah, well, a lot of them are anti-bikes, a lot of jealous people in there. So, but, filtering, yeah, great, but don't irritate people. In my experience, some do. Just hold back, wait for an opportunity, just hold back. Don't, just take your time. Don't irritate people. But yeah, you will get those that are changing position so you can't get through intentionally or unintentionally if they're on the phone or whatever it might be. Yeah, so if I'm in the center position too, moving off at lights, I'd certainly be looking both shoulders because there's a gap. Potentially there could be another vehicle, bike, pedestrian, whatever it might be. If I'm parked on the side of the road, position 1, then I wouldn't necessarily do the left lifesaver, but be flexible. There's, never say never, never say always. Use your common sense. No, don't think you do, Harry. In America, you're not allowed to filter. Yeah, I mean, some states in America, you don't have to wear helmets. Some you do. Yeah, absolutely, Paul. If you're going around a mini roundabout, you might be into first gear, slow speed, but like a figure of 8. It depends on the size and the speed. Yeah, but nothing wrong. Any slow speed coordination, the rear brake, that's what it's for. So yeah, 100% if you need to. Yeah, I mean, that's good. Yeah. So again, I mean, for me, I tend to be, just, it depends on my mood. Depends on how alert I am, because some days I've had a long day, a stressful day, I'm a bit more tired, so I don't feel as fresh, so I just take my time. I tend to be an early bird, so first thing in the morning I'm at my most alert, so I'm more comfortable filtering. I'm more alert. But as the day goes on, maybe I'm not, so I don't. So it just depends on my frame of mind at that time. Yep, you're not wrong, Harry. Yep, you're not wrong. Good man. So where were we then? Let us carry on. So getting quite a lot of interaction in the chat room, which is good. So keep those questions coming. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, not tired, but if I've had a long day, so we've had couple of 3-hour lessons on the bike, so you're just slowing down a bit, winding down a bit. But yeah, you don't, if you're tired, you don't want to be riding. Where are we then? Let's go to rear observations. Let's go to signals. Okay, so the signals is number 14. Now, the description of signals is signals necessary, signals correctly, and signals timed. In the description, the signals is you should have only used the signals shown in the highway code. You should have signaled clearly to let others know what you intended to do, particularly if it would help other road users or pedestrians. You should always signal in good time and ensure that the signal has been cancelled after the manoeuvre has been completed. You should not beckon to pedestrians to cross the road. Okay, now signals, indicators. Now I've got a great video in the description below, which is top tips to cancel your indicators. So top tips to cancel your indicators. So I've got a video which I've used my own method of cancelling, which comes from my time as a car instructor. I was a bike instructor. I'm a bike instructor. So when I started school 20 years ago, I became a car instructor as well, because in the early days the business was very seasonal. Because we were getting established. So the winter times were very, very quiet. So for 6 months of the year, I was okay in the first few years. But then winter times, there was just no money coming in. So I decided to go into cars to then even it all out. So I did cars for about 4 years, but I gave up. I didn't enjoy them, didn't like the cars. And by that time, the bikes started taking over. So didn't need to be doing the cars as much. But in a car, you would teach the trainee to, once they've entered the new road, to check the mirrors, cancel the signals. And so I sort of used that on the bike. So on a bike, if you watch the video, it's new road, command position, check your mirrors, cancel your signal. And that seems to work. Because of course, if you hear the words from your examiner, okay, Bob, you better turn your indicator off, then that could be a problem for you if the examiner's coming in. So make sure you're always cancelling them. But is it necessary? So let's have a look. So signalling, is it necessary? So if your examiner asks you to pull over on the side of the road, is it necessary to signal? Well, is there anybody that's going to benefit? That's the question you need to ask on anything. Is it necessary to signal at junctions and roundabouts? Absolutely. Is it necessary to indicate overtaking? Well, absolutely. People are going to benefit. If you're overtaking a vehicle, you should be indicating to tell them you're overtaking them. So, think about it. And if you're in doubt, I suppose, pulling into the side and stuff like that, if you're in doubt and want to indicate, then you shouldn't have too much trouble indicating. But make sure you turn that indicator off. Don't move off with your indicators, the left indicator still on. So a lot of, I'll say a lot, I've had in the past where somebody's failed because they've moved off with the left indicator on. And then the examiner said to them, I don't know, why did you even put it on? Because I'm going to be around. Nobody would have benefited from it. But because you did, you then forgot about it and then pulled off with the left indicator. So make sure you cancel it. That's the thing. Make sure it's cancelling it. Indicating necessary. So another thing, going around, say on a test morning, you could have builder, dustbin men and people like that. Would an indicator benefit? Well, possibly not. Don't let the indicator confuse people. So if there's little junctions and things, make sure your indicator isn't going to confuse people. And you can use your positioning. Your positioning on your bike is a really powerful indicator without signaling. So if you're approaching a dustbin wagon in position 3, that's showing your intention you're going to be overtaken and you're not even indicated yet. So, is it necessary? Isn't it? Well, every situation is going to be different. But make sure your indicator is showing your intentions clear. And if you are using your indicators, making sure you're turning them off. Timing. So timing of your signals. Yeah. So, you know, at the traffic lights, turn left. Well, if there's a junction on the left before the traffic lights, you wouldn't want to indicate really before the junction, would you? Because you're confusing people. So think about that. Again, your positioning, if there's two lanes, you go in the left lane, your positioning could be telling your intention without a signal. So again, make sure that signal is timed correctly and it's not confusing people. All right. Signals correctly, signals necessarily, signals timed. Timing of your signals, you know, if you're on a roundabout, yeah, so right indicator on, turning right at roundabout. If you put the left indicator on before you've exited the roundabout, before you've exited the junction, before you've committed. So if your left indicator comes on before the exit, then you're going to have a problem, aren't you? The indicator to come off needs to be timed after you've committed to the exit before the one that you want. So timing of the indicators, really, really important. And, you know, there is a great video below of things like roundabouts and junctions to show you the timing of the indicators and so forth. So yeah, be careful. I think on a mod 2 test, I would say more likely what we find is the timing of the indicators, roundabouts and things, and not cancelling the indicators. So there's a couple of videos in the link below. Get and watch them. They will help you. Okay. Rainer 585, good evening. Tuning in from Essex. You've been doing your DAS course, all good so far. What top 5 tips could you give me for the mod 2? Number 1, top tip, stay tuned to this live stream. You can always play it back because you've missed just over an hour. We're sort of getting through half of the thing, so do play it back. Also, previous live streams of the module 2 will help you. That's my number one top tip. Enjoy yourself. Preparation, get there on time. Don't forget your documents. Wear the right stuff. Ride for yourself. Enjoy it. Oh, we can go on and on and on. Rainer 585. So play back the videos, mate. Essex, good. So yeah, if you've not liked the video, we ask you to like the video. If it's your first time on the channel, mate, please do subscribe. They really, it does give us that motivation. But I'm glad for you to join and good of you to ask questions. That's what we like. Roll Watson, many thanks. Harry Guzzi, what about taking the bike to the testing centre in a trailer or in a van? Yeah, you can. Good of you to join us, Roll. If it's your first time, like the video. Great of you to comment and please subscribe to the channel. It really does motivate us to make more videos, to make more live streams. And that's really all we do ask of you in return for the vast amount of content that is on the channel. And there is so much content. 5 years worth of videos. So it's all good. Paul, would you be marked down for not making good progress, i.e. 2 lanes approaching traffic lights and not getting into second lanes? I suppose the answer would be you could, yeah. We would always teach you to make that progress. Would you be in that right lane if you were in your car? Don't not go in it because you're on your test. Ride for yourself. So yeah, I mean, if it's a repetitive problem, you could do, but yeah, try and make that progress. Try and make that progress. Harry, did Daisy? No, she's not done a CBT yet because we sort of sprung it upon her. So no, but we will get her on. I am going to do a video. So, but I think we're going to get her to do a taster first. Make sure that she enjoys it, and then I think we're going to film it. Yeah. So good. Well done, Rainer. 5 at 5. Thanks very much, and Raul, good man. Thank you very much. Nice of you to join us again then. Yeah, if you're already subscribers, fantastic. We're going to move on then. So move on to number 15, which is headed clearance to obstructions. And the description for 15 is you need to give parked vehicles and other obstructions safe clearance when passing, and watch out for any changing situations such as pedestrians walking out from between parked cars, doors opening and vehicles trying to move off. Be prepared to slow down or stop if needed. Yeah, so clearance to obstructions is really important. And what sort of distance should we be giving parked vehicles as an example? Or could it be a builder's skip on the side of the road? It could be, what sort of distance would you give an obstruction? So there's a question for anybody that wants to. Yeah, car door as an example. Car door width, that's what, yeah, about a meter, isn't it? It's about a meter. So we got a few more then just joining in, which is good. So let's have a look. We've got Dean Gaunt. Nice of you to join us, Dean. You failed your mod 2 today for going 30 in a 20. Yeah. Sorry to hear that. It's so easy, isn't it? And it could be you're doing 20 in a 30. Could be 40 in, and they know you've missed it. And that's the trouble. You've really got to be so alert and, really going out of a road information, going into a road information, looking. But yeah, sorry to hear that. Glad the videos help you, Dean. And all we ask, mate, is if you've not subscribed, please do so. AW8 roll plus instructor knows his own bikes and advisory throttle. Yeah, Alex, car door is the correct distance. So if you're going, past a parked car, you want to be a door's width away, which is approximately a meter. No, don't ride in the door zone, Harry. So, Raoul, where are you? Your case is a bit uncommon. I have a full EU license and I've had for more than 10 years, but in order to exchange, you have to retake all tests. Yeah, you're not, to be honest with you, you'd be surprised. It's not as uncommon as you think. It's not as uncommon as you think. So, but if you shouldn't have a great deal of trouble, that's all I can say. So you're probably going to have one of the shorter courses. But yes, it's painful. It's painful. And in answer to that, Raul, you could do your test on your own bike. You could do your module 1 on your own bike, and you could do your module 2 on your own bike. If you can get the bike to the test center, so if you've got somebody who could put it in a van or on a trailer, and we do see people do that. But I would always recommend going with a a local school to you, because, you know, when we present people for tests, I think, you know, because the examiners know us and they know the standards that we deliver on test. And, you know, but that's a decision you've got to make. There's nothing wrong. Not saying it's wrong what you're doing, you know, but no, he couldn't, Harry. No, he couldn't ride it on. He's got to, if he wants to exchange it, he's got to do all the tests. So he's not legally entitled to ride on the road, but he could take the bike in a van. Yeah. Yep. AW8, Rob, if passing a line of parked cars to near side at door width in a narrow road, should riders stop for a new oncoming traffic rider would otherwise be closed by? Yeah, you don't want to get in that door zone again, do you? So hold back. You don't have the priority. And you know what will happen? You go past the parked vehicles on your near side, and the vehicle that's coming towards you slows down, then you'll pick up the fault for making them slow down when it's you've got no priority. So remember, your obstruction is on your side of the road, you don't have any priority. Obstructions on the opposite side of the road, you have the priority, but you need to be flexible in that situation, because a lot of vehicles coming towards you with the stationary vehicle on the opposite side of the road will come through over the white line towards you, so you need to come over to position 1 or even consider slowing down. And you can't play the card, well, he was in the wrong. No, but it's how you're dealing with it. You need to be planning ahead and dealing with it safely. Yeah, Paul, absolutely. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not illegal. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. So why not? Why not? So clearance to obstructions. Let's get back to the description. You need to give parked vehicles and other obstructions safe clearance and passing whatever chain. And I suppose really also it's yeah, being able to stop in the distance you can see to be clear. Anticipate anybody walking out between parked cars, doors, and that sort of thing. Any pedestrians, anticipate any cars moving off. So use all your experience, but also very, very important to use the observations, isn't it, on approach. So make sure you're approaching and make sure you're getting those effective rear observations in before you're changing that road position. But hopefully that helps you. Hopefully that helps you on clearance to obstruction. Let's move on to number 16 then. So number 16, this is one I really enjoy, and this is the heading is response to signs and signals. Now in the description, in the headings, number 16, response to signs and signals, it's responding to traffic signs, road markings, traffic lights, traffic controllers, and other road users. In the description that you've got, it's you must show that you can react correctly to all traffic signs, road markings, traffic lights, and pedestrian crossings. Obey signals given by police officers, traffic wardens, highways agency officers, and school crossing patrols. You need to watch out for signals given by other road users and ride on only when you are satisfied it's safe. And that's an interesting one, that, which I'll go on to as well. Hopefully I won't forget it. But it is, you need to watch out for signals given by other road users and ride on only when you are satisfied it is safe. And so responding to signs and signals. So let's just come back here 1 minute. Pass your test in America. Aaron Spalding. Hi, Aaron. Good of you to join us. So you're watching our videos. Good man. Whereabouts are you based? Where are you going to be doing your test? And have you liked the video? And are you subscribed to the channel? Very important. Anybody that's watching and contributing, we do like you to subscribe to the channel because it does help us. So responding to signs and signals, and that could be traffic signs, it could be road markings, and it could be other road users. So if you don't see a sign, how can you respond? So if you don't see a sign, how can you respond? And it's a bit like, without going too much into it, but who was it that said, so Dean, failing the mod 2 for going 30 in a 20 because there's only one sign which is hard to see at the start. So yeah, you've missed a sign. So if you've missed a sign, you can't respond. And that could be a speed sign, information sign, no entry, stop sign, these sorts of things. Any signs, if you miss them, you're not going to be able to respond. And there's a very good chance that you're going to be picking up a fault, aren't you? So very important, you're scanning for information. And what I'd say with the signs and stuff, it's not always on your side of the road. I know a particular road which has got a change of speed, but there's no change of speed sign on the left-hand side. It's on, as you're going down there, it's on the right. So don't just scan for any information on your side, scan for information on both sides and as far down the road as you can see. Because if you don't spot them, you don't know how to deal with them. So road signs, also a road signs, it's worth mentioning here then, because there is a video down below in the description of how to use bus lanes. And again, we get a lot of people that come and do training with us say they live in areas that they don't come across bus lanes. So, and in the brief that we have a chat with them before the lesson, say, I won't go in a bus lane, I never go in them, then I know I'm safe then. Well, no, that's not the way to look at it, because you are encouraged to, and you should be going into the bus lanes if the times allow you to on your module 2 test and it's safe. You should be using them. If you don't use them, again, it can escalate into problems. So on approach, you can see the blue sign, bus lane sign, from a great distance. Start reading that information as early as you can to see whether it's timed, no times, and so forth. So do watch the video below. It will help you. Simply, if there's no times on the bus lane, do not go in it. Read it. If it says Monday to Friday, 7 till 10, 4 till 7, then after 10, before 4, you can use it, but you don't use it in between the times that is being mentioned on the sign. But watch the video below. Responding to signs and signals, traffic lights and things like that. If you're approaching a green light, then you should be anticipating that those lights are going to change and they're going to go to amber and red. If you go through an amber light, if you go through a red light, you are going to have a problem on your test. There's no doubt about it. So make sure you're aware, and make sure things like the flashing amber on a Pelican crossing, what are you going to do on that? If it's clear, you're going to go. So make sure that you're fresh on your highway code as well. Yeah, you passed your theory test, but if you passed it a year and a half ago, you might need to revisit it and just brush up on it a little bit. Yeah, tractors, we get those around here as well on certain parts. Then of course you've got things like stop signs. Make sure that you stop. People come back after the test and they've not stopped. They think they have, but they haven't. Now, if you want to stop at a stop sign on a junction, stop with your foot go down. And if there's a vehicle in front of you that goes, don't just follow him. You need to be, as the lead vehicle, stopping. So if you've got a vehicle in front and they go, you go forward, stop behind the white line, foot down. Very important. Re-bus lanes, carefully look for bicycle sign versus motorbike sign. Yes. So there are most bus lanes allow cycles. The motorcycles are a lot thicker in their sign, and they're becoming more common now. Certain counties you can go to do allow motorcycles in bus lanes. I'm hoping won't be too long Manchester will be joining those. AWA, if stalling is a minor, how many minors if same fault allowed on mod 2? And how many minors in total? I've forgotten, sorry, we'll be brushing up before DAS. Total of 10 minor faults is a pass, 11 minor faults is a fail. If you're getting 3 minor faults, that may go up into a serious fault. It's not guaranteed, it may. Now, Andy, if stalling is a minor, now a stall could be a minor fault or a fail, a serious fault. So if you stall, I think it generally is going to depend on how it is affecting other road users, because we have had people that have stalled and they've passed. We've had people that have stalled and they've failed. And it just depends on the circumstances and how you're reacting to it. Okay, so very important to know that it's not necessarily a fail. Hull allows motorbikes to use bus lanes at all times. Yeah, great. Manchester should. Yeah, the stall might not be anything at all. So it's not over until it's over, is it? What else on response to signs and signals? One thing I mentioned about, so if you were going to be turning into a side road and the vehicle coming towards you flashed his lights, don't necessarily think, oh, you know, whatever. You can think if somebody's flashing the lights, if you're sat there and the vehicle flashes the lights at you, and he's clearly, if you can interpret it correctly, and he's clearly wanting you to cross, take advantage of it. You know, if somebody's flashing you, what are they asking you to do? And if they are flashing you, to make them go, not a problem. But you need to be comfortable that that is correct. It's comfortable that that is what they are intending you to do. Take advantage of it. Harry, I think for a stall, what matters is how you recover from the stall. If you make a big fuss and hold up traffic, more likely to fail. If you quickly restart and keep moving, yeah, it just depends on the situation and what effect it has. Anything else on response to signs and signals? It said about, say you can read all traffic on road market traffic, pedestrian obey signals, and school control. You need to watch out for signals where there is and ride only when you're satisfied to do so. Yeah. Responding to signs and signals. So yeah, just make sure you're comfortable with your highway code. Number 17, use of speed. Use of speed. You should have made safe and reasonable progress, keeping in mind the road, traffic and weather conditions, road signs and speed limits. You need to show confidence based on sound judgment, remembering all times that you must be able to stop within the distance you can see the road to be clear, which is a golden rule, and to always be able to stop in the distance you can see to be clear. Yeah, from again, my experience, the examiners do like you to get up to speed if it's safe. So confidence on the bike, being aware of the speed, being aware of the hazards, ride according to what you see, whether that be road, weather conditions, traffic conditions, but get up to speeds where it is safe to do so, and ease off on that speed where you are likely to, encounter hazards. So very important use of speed. Number 18, following distance. You shall have kept a safe distance between you and the vehicle in front. You should be able to stop safely well within the distance you can see the road to be clear. Again, a golden rule there. Leave extra distance in wet or slippery conditions. Leave sufficient space when stopped at traffic cues. Number 18. Yeah, following distance. So the golden is 2-second rule, 4-second rule. So only a fool breaks a 2-second rule. If you don't know how to work that out, then you're traveling down the road, pick a lamppost or a driveway or some object that is fixed and count to 2. If you get there before you've counted to 2, you're too close. Ease off. So let the vehicle in front go past a lamppost. Let the vehicle in front go past a driveway. Count to 2. If you get there before you've got to 2, ease off. Try it again. Only a fool breaks a 2-second rule. So that's a 2-second time gap. And that's any speed, really. Any speed. What we would then say if it was raining, and that is to double it. So 2 seconds becomes 4 seconds. And because it can take up to twice as long to stop. We all know that. Or should know that. Now, if you're getting behind a vehicle at traffic lights or a junction, and you need to allow a bit of distance that you can get around them if you need to. And what we teach, a couple of bike lengths. So 2 bike lengths, maybe a little bit more if you're on a hill and there's a heavier goods vehicle in front. But allow enough room that you can get around that vehicle if you need to, or if they roll back, they're not going to hit you. Okay. So that's at behind vehicles at lights and junctions and that sort of thing. So don't get too close. Don't get up their rear. Okay. Number 19 is maintaining progress. The heading is appropriate speed and undue hesitation. And number 19, description is you needed to show that you can ride at a realistic speed appropriate to the road and traffic conditions. You should have approached all hazard at a safe, controlled speed without being too cautious or affecting other road users. And you should always be ready to move away from junctions as soon as it's safe and correct to do so. Riding too slowly can create dangers for yourself and others, which it can. The biggest bit of advice I would give to anybody on maintaining progress is ride for yourself. And what happens is a lot of people can go to the test, and what they do is start basing their decisions on the examiner following. So I'm not going to go at this roundabout because if I go, the examiner can't follow me. If I'm going to go at this junction, the examiner can't follow me, so I'm going to wait. And then he can go, no, they don't want to see that. You need to go. And the more you hear that examiner say to you, find somewhere safe, pull over, that's got to be a good thing. It means you're making your progress, you're maintaining your progress. Remember to also use all your road experience, and speed is always relevant to what's going on around you as well, because limits are only limits, they're not targets. So take into account everything else. But yeah, just get on with your own ride and, forward plan junctions and roundabouts. Get yourself going. Yeah, well, if you lose the examiner on your test, then you've got a problem. Yeah, because if he can't see you and you can't see him, you can't hear him, then you've got a problem. Test would be terminated. I've had it once in 20 years. I think I've had it once where the examiner's come back. He said, lost him, can't find him. So all you need to remember, and it's a golden rule, if you just keep going straight on, and if you've not heard him for a bit, pull over. Yeah, and your radio's now Bluetooth, go out of range, so you get this message, I think, in the thing. So just pull over. but don't turn off anywhere. Just stay, because you need to follow the road straight on unless traffic signs tell you otherwise. So don't try and be clever and turn in there and up there to turn around, because if he goes past them, he's not going to lost it. So always just pull over on the side of the road. There is a great video. Which I've put, and that is that you about parking, it's not parking, it's about stopping on double yellow lines. Yeah, so can I stop on double yellow lines on your test? Great video. Have a look at that one. Yeah, so you just stop, Harry. Yeah, you will be technically riding illegally. Yeah, if you're losing the examiner, well, losing him, you could lose him going too fast, but generally that's not why people would lose them. It's if they don't pull over and then they turn around and try and go there, turn around there, or whatever. But as I say, in 20 years, I've only ever experienced it once. So it's not something that is a common problem. Number 20 then, junctions including roundabouts. So let's have a look at the heading, number 20, and that is approach and speed observation, turn right, turn left, cutting corners, number 20. The explanation is your examiner looked to see that you deal safely with road junctions. OSM PSL procedure, important. Turning right across busy traffic, turning right, garageways. You need to be confident you can judge the speed and distance of oncoming traffic. You need to look out for other road users emerging, turning, be ready to stop. You need to be extra watchful in poor light, bad weather conditions, or more vulnerable and road users such as cyclists. If you're using your OSM PSL, so observation, signal, maneuver, position, speed, look, you do need to be using that position 1 to turn left, position 3 to turn right if it's safe. Speed is always relevant to visibility and observations. Before you go over the white line, before you merge onto the junction, before you merge onto the roundabout, make sure that you can look right, left, and right effectively. That's a minimum, right, left, and right. Don't interfere with anybody. So if you're merging, make sure that you get up to the speed of the road so you're not slowing traffic down and you get on with it. Junctions and roundabouts you are particularly vulnerable on a bike, and people don't see you and stuff like that. So you really got to be aware, be nice and confident. Don't hesitate, but be confident. I have a cracking couple of videos below of how to approach T-junctions using OSM PSL, and also how to use roundabouts, mini roundabouts, how to use those. So there's quite a few good videos there that can accompany number 20, which is junctions and roundabouts. So do take a look at those. But it is application of OSM PSL. OSM PSL, very, very important. As well as turning your indicator off when you've completed it. Number 21, judgment. Your examiner assesses your judgment skills throughout the test. You need to show sound judgment when overtaking, filtering, meeting or crossing the path of other road users. You should only have done so when safe and legal, making your intentions clear and being sure you understand the intention of the road user. So judgment, yeah. Number 21, overtaking, filtering, meeting, crossing. So overtaking, you may get an overtake. I suppose the question you need to ask yourself, is it safe, legal, convenient? You're probably more likely to get an overtake on a dual carriageway than an A road, but I'm not saying you won't get an opportunity on an A road. And if you get an opportunity, you should take it. But make sure it's safe, make sure it's legal. Make sure you're going to benefit. Why overtake one vehicle if you're going to the 6 further on? So be sensible. You're being assessed on your planning. You're being assessed on your attitude on the road. So no, you don't always go on a dual carriageway. Depends on the test centre, depends on the routes, but you're more likely to overtake on a dual carriageway. Filtering, yeah, again, I'm thinking 20 years teaching, I've had it once or twice filtering, and it's not something you're really required to do on your test or asked to do on your test. Meeting traffic. Obstructions, meeting traffic, obstructions on your side, meeting traffic, and obstructions on the opposite side. Rules of priority, important. Forward plan. If you have no priority, you might need to hold back. If you have got priority, you might need to change your position. If either of you got priority, work it out between yourself, and just always the safest option, isn't it? Always the safest. Forward plan. Don't make vehicles slow down or change their position because of your actions. Very important to leave sufficient distance when you're meeting traffic. If you've got a big wide road, traffic on your side parked up, traffic on the other side parked up, and vehicles coming towards you, there's plenty of, there is room for you both to get through, but you don't want to be closer to the oncoming traffic than you are to the stationary. So don't sort of be stubborn and stay in your positions. You've got to be flexible. Always be flexible with your positioning, dependent on what you see. Yep, sometimes you don't. Sometimes, there's not uncommon on a test, no faster than 40. Yep. Judgment crossing. Yeah. So busy road, you're turning right, major road into a minor, traffic waiting to come out of the junction you're going into, traffic behind you undertaking you, traffic coming towards you, and you're turning right. You're the lead vehicle waiting, traffic coming towards you, the lead vehicle flashes his lights. You're in the correct position, controlling everything. Where you're going, the traffic coming out of the junction you're going into is waiting for you. Traffic undertaking you, quite busy junction, lead vehicle flashes you. If you're interpreting it correctly and you think, yeah, well, I can go, then go. If it's safe, go. Junction, don't be cutting corners and things. Oh, that's up above, yeah. Turn right to left, no cutting corners. Judgment, meeting, crossing. Yeah, positioning. Number 22, positioning. You should position your machine in a safe position as a general rule in the center of your lane. Command position 2. You should keep clear of parked vehicles and position yourself correctly for the direction you intend to take. Where lanes are marked, you should have kept to the middle of the lane and avoid straddling lane markings. You should not change lanes when not needed. Be aware of where you are at all times, as others road users judge what you may. Be aware of where you are at all times, as other road users judge what you may do based on this. So, positioning, command, but be flexible. Left and right turns, 1, 2, 3. Lane discipline is, if there's 2 lanes, always favor the left. Normal riding, lane discipline. If you've got a dual carriageway, left lane, use the right lane for overtaking, making progress, and back into the left lane. Traffic lights going straight on 2 lanes, use the right lane, make your progress, come back into the left. Positioning is powerful. Be flexible. Come on to Ben's position in a moment. Positioning, I have got a video which is how to be flexible with your road position. So below there is a video of me how to be flexible with your road positioning, so that'll help you. Also on there I've got, which I've not mentioned, a better video how to deal with horses, how to approach and pass horses. Could be a good one for you. Going back to road signs and signals, was that number 16? Traffic signs, pedestrian cross traffic lights. So got a great video below about how to approach a toucan crossing. We approach toucan, puffin, pelican, pegasus, all in the same way. If you're approaching a zebra crossing, somebody waiting to cross, don't beckon them, let them make their own decisions. if you beckon a pedestrian, then you could be putting them at risk. So don't want to be doing that, do we? So pedestrian crossings, in the description, you need to identify the different types of pedestrian crossing. I've done a video of a toucan, description below, and take the correct action. You should have timed your approach to crossings so you travel at speed which allows you to stop safely. If you need to do so, you need to pay particular attention where crossings are obscured by queuing or parked vehicles, and show consideration for elderly or infirm pedestrians. So a good scan around and anticipate. Yeah, a good scan around, anticipate. Speed is always relevant to visibility and what you could expect to occur. 24, positioning normal stops. Yep, so I've got a video in the description below about moving off on your test. Can I stop on double line? So there's a bit of a couple of videos there about where you can stop, where you can't stop. But if you, and it's not uncommon for your examiner to ask you to pull over half a dozen times or more. So avoid areas like dropped curbs, bends, brow of a hill, zigzags, bus stops, within 10 meters of a junction. So be sensible about where you want to park. But as I say, there are some good videos down below. You know, if you're parking within 10 meters of a junction, you cause you have a problem, you're going to be picking up faults, aren't you? If you park on a brow of a hill and you're putting yourself at risk, you're going to be picking up faults. It's all about planning and safety, isn't it? Zara67, good evening. Would you just use mirrors and lifesavers to change from 1, 2, and 3? Yeah, mirrors, certainly. Consider your lifesavers, depends on the width of the road and so forth. Remember, your mirrors give you good view. Your lifesavers are to check the area that your mirrors can't see. So if it's a wide road, yeah, definitely. Certainly wouldn't be indicating to change 1, 2 to 3. So position for normal stops is a good one. 25, awareness and planning, really important that you are aware and you plan as far as you can. The examiner will look to see that you're aware of other road users at all times. You should always think and plan ahead so you can judge what other road users are going to do and predict their actions. This will affect you and react, so that you get me. You should always think and plan ahead so you can judge what other road users are going to do. Predict how their actions will affect you and react in good time. Anticipate road and traffic conditions and act in good time, rather than reacting to them at the last moment. Take particular care to consider the actions of the more vulnerable groups of road users, such as pedestrians, cyclists, other motorcyclists, and horse riders. So great. I've got the video for the horse rider, how to approach and pass horses, below. So have a look below there. This is probably a lot easier and more comfortable for somebody that's going for their module 2 that's a car driver. If you're not a car driver, then you're not going to have as much experience, because this does come in time. Being able to plan and aware is something you do develop. Yeah, you do develop. So the further you plan, the earlier you plan, the more time you've got to deal with stuff. Number 26, bends. So this is bends outside of town, so country lanes and things like that. So on a right-hand bend, you could come over to position 1, which could help with your visibility. It means you lean in. So on a right-hand bend, consider coming over to position 1. You lean in, you're away from the center white line. Very important with bends that you approach at the correct speed, and try not to brake on a bend. Try not to change gear on a bend because you've not got the same control. So it's all about planning and approaching it in good time, and always be able to stop in the distance you can see to be clear. On a left-hand bend, stay in position 2. Don't drift over to position 3. So on a left-hand bend, stay in your position 2, but approach again at the correct speed, in the right gear. And again, though, the key thing is to be flexible. So if you're going around a left-hand bend and there's somebody broken down on, then you're going to have to change your position. But your speed should be enabling you to do it all in a safe manner and not affecting others. So you've got to be flexible to a certain extent, but clear bends, right hand bend position 1, left hand bend position 2. Try and avoid braking, try and avoid changing gears. So that again is where you come into all of your forward planning. And then finally on the test report as well is the little mention about eco. So, you know, planning, the smoothness of your control and so forth. The test itself, so all over in 40 minutes, start to finish. And, you know, when you get back to the test center, the examiner will, you know, give you your results, give you a bit of feedback and so forth. So I'm hoping that has all helped you out. The other one I will mention at the end here is what happens with your license when you pass. So you've passed your module 2. What happens with your license? Because the examiner will give you choices. Okay. So that really is pretty much all of the module 2. And I'm sure there's bits there that I haven't covered. And what I would say is, if anybody is watching the live stream video, not live, so at a later date, any questions, do continue to bring them on. Ask the questions. We will always get back to you where we can. Okay. So I told you it was going to be a long one. It's just shy of 2 hours. So I'll let it go a few more minutes. I'll go up to you 2 hours, but then I will be loving and leaving you. I would like to just say thank you for any of you new viewers coming on. Thank you very much. If it's your first time to the channel, please do like this live stream and subscribe if you don't mind, because it does help us. And you know, as I said many times before, the more as you know, more people that comment and get involved, it does motivate me to do more videos. And what I would say is that have a look at the videos I've got scheduled. The next couple I've got scheduled from when I'm in Spain, but we're going to continue with them. And, you know, I'm probably going to squeeze a few more in there as well anyway before then. But I go on the 2nd of September. Okay. So, yeah, not far off then. So good of you all to join. I've got a busy few days now. I think I've got 4 tests on tomorrow myself personally, 4 tests, and then I've got the 4th instructor training workshop. So I've got 5 days of instructor training over the next 5 days prior then to going away for the month of September. So I think that's pretty much most of that module 2. Anybody that watches back at a later date, do comment away if there's something that I have missed. But what I would say is there's probably about 4 or 5 different module 2 live streams. And what I'd say is, yeah, have a play back because they're all different. And have a good rest of the week. Once again, thanks for joining. Stay safe, and I am going to get going. So all the best. Speak to you soon. Bye.